Yo yo yo, what's up plebs? Today I will show your lazy ass how to do Vateshran Hollows on veteran without breaking a sweat and keeping that vitality bonus at maximum. And while we are at it, we are also not using any sigils and do a speed run at the same time. Wow, incredible. Hello, this is me from the future. Please keep in mind that the footage is a few patches old at this point and gear, skills and CPS are kinda outdated. With that out of the way, enjoy. Now let's get started. First, unbind your synergy key, because if you are a small brain like me, you will spam that shit as soon as it pops up and ruin your run. Second, make sure your CPS are actually slotted, because my dumbass forgot to slot one of them, but let's not talk about that. Third, for this run I'm using the following gear. 5 pieces of vicious ophidian, 5 advancing Yakuza with a 2-hander front bar, a male strombo back bar, 1 monster piece of your choice, and if you want any chance of surviving this, you better get this OP ass ring that heals you for the damage you cause. Now for the skills. As spammable, I use surprise attack. This skill is so fast and deadly that even a cat on steroids will not see it coming. Then I have Killer's Blade for when your sorry looking enemies are below 25% HP to burn them faster than a barn filled with straw and a dragon frog inside. Next is Brawler, or how I call it, oh shit that's a lot of damage, I better spam this AoE damage shield to outplay my enemies. Get wrecked. Now Relentless Focus for that dandy passive crit damage, and that sweet bow proc after 5 light attacks to deal more damage than when my father left me to get some milk at the shop. The last skill on my front bar is Barb Trap, to place a more obvious trap than most anime cat girls on the internet. It's a trap! This skill gives you a 10% increased critical damage, so you better damn use it. Now for the back bar. The first skill is Dark Shade, to send a shadow clone of yourself that does not even closely represent your character after the enemy to deal some damage, and applying minor maim to decrease their damage. Next, Endless Hail to proc your male strombo for some insane damage. Sorry, no funny comment here, I'm out of ideas. Now Twisting Path for some more AoE damage and some movement speed. Why do we use this on stand builds? What the f is this new CP system? Please, I just want to get back to yeeting caltrops. You probably don't even need the next skill because sustain is incredible on this class, but I used it anyway. Leeching Strikes restores health and stamina on light and heavy attacks, plus a burst of stamina when the skill runs out. If you think you don't need this, then put on caltrops or something, I don't know. Damn, I really miss caltrops. My last skill on the back bar is Resolving Vigor, only as last resort if I decide to cosplay a Genji main from Overwatch needing some more heals on top of all the heals. As for ultimates, I use Incapacitating Strike front bar and Ballista back bar. Try to have a Ballista up at the start of the boss fights to get some extra burst in, and then continue to use Incap for the rest of the boss fight. Incap gives you a nice damage boost to your target after activating, and passively gives you more stamina and magicka with light attacks. Now for the CPS. I am not going to cover all the passive stars and only focus on the slottable ones. In the blue tree or warfare tree I use Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim, Thaumaturge and what would be Wrathful Strikes, but like I said, let's not talk about that small brain play I made. In the red tree or Fitness tree I use Boundless Vitality, Ironclad, Rejuvenation, god what a strange word that is, and Bloody Renewal. The green tree or Crafting tree is useless for combat except the movement speed for when you need to run like the wind after the boss fights. The last thing I am gonna mention is food and potions. I use Dubious Camoran Throne for max health, stamina and stamina recovery. As for potions, I use Standard Essence of Weapon Power for boss fights, and Trash Pots for anything else because I am a cheap bitch. I almost forgot to mention that I use the Thief Munda Stone because I am sneaky like that. All your armor should be in divines to power your crit chance even higher. That should cover everything about the build I used, so let's get straight into the arena and wreck some ass. I mean win respectfully. So how is your day going? Nice weather, isn't it? So before we enter the actual arena we get greeted by these nerds. Just ignore them, they probably didn't even finish the arena on normal yet. Just continue walking until you see this creepy woman that is talking some bullshit about the sacred rites of the Vateshran or something, I don't know. Now head through the door to the room of choosing, where depending on if you are magicka or stamina you have to take different paths. Since we are on stamina we are going in the blue portal first, then red, and at last we take the green one. The big circle in the middle will be the portal for the last boss once we are finished with the rest. Now let's switch to my past self and the actual super amazing flawlessly executed ultra mega god run. You probably thought you got rid of my unnecessary commentary, but no. I am inside your head now and will continue be an annoying prick for the rest of the run. JK, I lied. Please enjoy the show, I will be back later for the important stuff.
3, 2, 1, go!
Congratulations, Pleb. You have graduated the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things and have made it to the first boss. Meet the VMA boss wannabe Zack and the Mark II Flesh Abomination Bonk Boy. This is a fairly easy boss, so even your incomparable plebiness should be able to beat this. The mage is more dangerous than the Colossus, and has less health, so if this isn't ticking any boxes in that spec you call a brain, you should focus on that one first. The boss will teleport around a bit, and will also spawn a portal of Bannekin to tickle you. These Bannekin are easy and just die to cleave, so don't worry your tiny little pleb brain about it unless you are really bad. This boss will also have a channeled attack which you will need to bash. The mage will also get a shield around him sometimes. At this point you need to bring the Flesh Colossus over to him and let him hit the mage with his big bonk AoE attack. That's right, send that mage to horny jail. He was probably looking at lusty Argonian maiden pics before you interrupted him. After you have finally killed the mage and deleted his browser history, the Flesh Colossus will enrage and heal. Even when enraged, his attacks are pretty disappointing and do not obey the laws of physics. Just face tank his basic attacks and sidestep his big AOs and you will be good. Oh, what am I saying? A pleb like you can never be good. Now watch and learn as my past self will take care of these nerds and their fetish for scaly Argonian maidens. After more running and teleporting, we finally made it to the last boss of this area, Ayazazunth. Jesus Christ, what is this name? Let's just call him this big ass titan. He is not terribly difficult. He will mostly be using melee attacks against you unless you are some kind of bobo-spastic. You are some kind of bobo-spastic. 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 And these attacks are blockable, so if you die to these then you have truly foiled past pleb status into what is known as diabolically catastrophic. The boss will also shoot a wave of blue fire. This will do some hefty damage, and probably one-shot plebs like you. This attack is bashable, so if you have reaction time faster than a sloth you will be fine. After some time some eyeball dudes will spawn in the room. They can be annoying by either reducing your non-existent damage, making you take more damage so that the stuff that already one-shots you will most definitely one-shot you now. Slow your character down so that you get even less use out of the movement keys which you never used anyway, or they will drain your health, which I expect you can deal with yourself. Pro tip for you plebs. You can aim the boss's blue flame AoE to hit the eyeball dudes and they will almost be one-shot. But this requires semi-half decent skill, so there is no hope for most of you out there. Last thing to mention are the tentacle dudes upstairs. They will give you a sweet disco light party while you beat up the boss. The laser show won't hurt you too much, but the longer you take the more of them will spawn and create a bigger rave than the caramel and some balcony memes, so you might have to use the portal and go upstairs to go kill some of these off. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Whoa, hold there for a second. Before we continue speeding to the next boss, some more education for you plebs on how to improve your chance of surviving. After each completed area you will gain the ability of either teleportation, lava walking, or get a grappling hook. These tools are needed to travel to somewhat secret locations that will allow you to increase your maximum health, stamina and magicka. Right now I will use the teleportation skill from last area to unlock the health bonus orb. Before you rush into that portal, make sure you have a reliable heal slotted that won't let you down like my League of Legends supports in every match. After you collected the orb from the portal, 5 additional orbs will spawn around the whole arena you are located in. Here is a map with the possible spawn locations. I won't show this again, so be sure to remember all of them. This map is sponsored by Alcast and is definitely not stolen. Moving on. Well done, you made it past the murderous dinosaur chickens and murderous dinosaur dragons with extra chili sauce. Meet this flame pixie, the least intimidating boss in the arena. She will spawn lots of mini-ads which die easily to cleave, and occasionally iron atros which are a joke. There is quite a lot of fire, so if you are one of those f***stic vampires you might be having some trouble, especially towards the end where you will have these random ass fire waves that still confuse me. There will also be a Deidrith that might spawn if you are too slow with your 5k DPS, so if his chilly breath scares you, you might want to focus him down. But honestly, this boss is a joke and even one as plebby as you shouldn't be having any issues. Meet Mr. Barbecue Man. Why is he called this, I hear you ask? Because he can incinerate you in 2 standard hits if you aren't careful. He will kill you so fast that you get booted from the server, and he also is one annoying constantly running out of AOs you place down. His main mechanic is a copy-paste flame circle stolen directly from Pleb Rose prison. Touching these flames like the brainless chicken you are will automatically turn you into a nice juicy chunk of roast pleb. You can simply run away from this mechanic, a tactic I'm sure you are already familiar with, but the boss will launch fireballs at you that can easily kill you if you don't heal, and since you have little to no ranged attacks deal damage, I would recommend staying in close proximity to him and making loops around him like a Dead by Daylight player does to annoy any killer in that trash game. After some time he will push his sword into the ground and attempt to roast your feet in lava. If he does this, you must move your plebby legs to a rock orb, and do a melee heavy attack, that way your pleb hide is saved. However, the damage over time when the effect is lifted is still quite extreme, so it is advisable to heal. There will also be a geyser on one of the corners that spawns roughly 5 seconds after the start of the mechanic. You can put these out by sitting on them with the orb effect. If you fail to do this 3 times, the boss will get a Game of Thrones style fire sword and one-shot you with it. This is only really an issue if you are a pleb with 5k DPS. Most of the time you can ignore these and focus on the next thing that will spook your socks off. Big scary boner colossi will spawn during the fight, which are pretty spooky. They summon blast bones which will yeet at you and can stun and kill you. They also rain down fire on you, and their basic attacks hurt, so just be careful, and maybe focus them down if they scare you too much. Anyway, let's see how a true master deals with this feet roasting edgelord. Sorry, me again. Like I said before, in the fire area we now have the chance again to get some additional buffs to our arsenal and get more pumped up, because you sure look like you could need it. This time we use the power of the rock orbs to run through some sections to find them. Here a quick look at the map for this area, sponsored by Alcast Genshi. What a nice guy. Observe the 3 lurchers. If your vast plebness has completed Veteran Maelstrom Arena, You might be having less of an issue with this fight as it is very similar to the stage 2 Centurions. These lurchers will start to sit up and down on a timer rather than percentage based, so if you have semi-half decent DPS you might just be able to burn this in 2-3 lurcher phases. For the absolute noobs who not have yet witnessed the glory of the Maelstrom Arena, here a quick explanation. At the start you will only be able to attack one of the 3 and over time they will sit down to switch in and out like a tag team. Which means you gonna have to switch your focus as well and stop trying to attack the wrong one. This fight will also have smell boy spriggans scattered around the edges of the arena. If they start to channel on you, you just need to run over and bash them, and you should be fine. The only way you can fail this mechanic is if you have the reactions of a turtle and run at the speed of a snail. If the spriggans do manage to get their channel off, you won't be able to damage the lurchers and will have to go kill the sneaky little spriggances who stole your precious from you. Now let's stop slacking and start hacking on these dumb trees. Welcome to Rajarak's Arena of Chase and Run Away. This furry looks hard at first glance, but is easier once you get used to him. His mechanics will come in stages, so you have enough time to get used to the mechanics before he moves on to more. The most important thing to remember is to keep your stamina high, and not to spend it needlessly if you have bad stam sustain. There is much to block, dodge and interrupt in this fight. He has fairly standard attacks. He has a heavy attack that should be dodge rolled or blocked. A charge, which you can sidestep, or you can block if walking is too difficult for you. These attacks hurt and stun, and his basic attacks will slap you harder than the Nightblade nerfs in Murkmire. Now to the fun parts. He will occasionally enrage on a color and become immune to the color of the pad he is standing on. You need to grapple away at this point to the other colored pad, and the boss will jump after you. Remember to back away when you arrive at a pad, as he might yeet upon your silly looking head. Alternatively you can block, and you will avoid the stun. He will spawn archer ads, which are more of an annoyance than a danger, so just ignore them, or build heals off them when the boss is taking its sweet time on being immune. At 60%, the boss will unleash his last mechanic. The mages on the insides of the pads will finally awake. They tried to cross the border, walked right into the Imperial ambush. Oh wait, wrong game. Basically they will try and set fire to the pad directly opposite from them, so you must bash them for the opposite pad to be safe. Technically you only need to bash 2 of them, but to be safe you can bash more, just be careful of your stamina. Now good luck beating this guy. Don't worry if it takes you a few tries, not everyone can be as flawless as this masterful Nightblade. Congratulations, you made it to the last boss of this soul-destroying arena. Now it gets serious, no more jokes. If you had problems with the previous bosses, then get ready for the most intense battle of your life. Before we begin, please rebind your synergy key again, as you will need it to use portals. Hectometers, maybe I should have mentioned that in the blue stage too. Anyway, the boss itself doesn't hit that hard, unless you stand in her huge AoEs. The main issues are the ads. None of them have much health. but most of them are ranged so they don't enjoy dying to cleave. You will get mages who will light attack you, giant blobs who slow you and jump backwards for whatever reason, and you get archers that will spam snipe on you, but the most dangerous monster will be the shady boner guys. They deal insane damage and two of them have no issue doing a synchronized slap to kill you in less than a second. For safety reasons you would want to kill those as soon as they spawn and arrive next to you so you don't have to deal with more than two, and if that should happen you can spam brawler to outplay them. Next, her first mechanic. Roughly 40 seconds into the fight she will spawn shades at the outside of the arena. Together they will form a circle of death that will one-shot anything, and if I say anything I mean anything. This circle will slowly move to the middle and close in around you. You can identify this happening before when you memorize her voice lines to quickly react to it. Anyway, when this circle spawns and moves towards you, you need to kill one of the shades to break the tether and quickly move out before they explode in the middle. After that you can focus on the boss again. There are two ways to ignore this if you feel like earning style points. Any blink ability like Streak from Sorcerer that will teleport your character out of the circle can be used to just jump out. Or if you feel like a big boy you can test your DPS and try to burn her down as fast as possible so the wall disappears. Why does it disappear you ask? Well, when her health reaches below 5% and you think the fight is over, she is gonna explode slowly and you need to run as fast as possible to the 3 portals outside of the arena. Now this is where you will be stress tested, because if you want to have an easier time you should do the portals in a specific order to avoid certain enemies. In each portal you will face the 3 main bosses from before again, as spirits but a tiny bit weaker, except the blue dragon gets replaced by the ice mage for some reason. For each boss defeated they will spawn new adds or replace some of them with stronger ones. I recommend doing the blue portal first because that ice mage basically does nothing, and when you defeat him the only thing that happens is that occasionally a flood of lightning strikes will land under you. As second portal I go into the green one. In there you will face the Minotaur in range form that summons a clone of himself to place some fire AoEs. When you defeat him his clone will stay to annoy you on the main stage. And last I take the red portal. In there you will face the Pyre Lord once more, but since he is a bit weaker he will only do his flame circle spin-off and summon fire mages. After some time these fire mages will start to channel a barrage of fireballs that deal insane damage. Be sure to interrupt them or kill the mages before. When you defeated the Pyre Lord the mages will be upgraded to the fire ones, so keep an eye on them as that channel can quickly kill you. Now that I explained the portals I should mention what happens during your time inside. When you evade the explosion by running into the portals, the main boss will start to heal slowly while you deal with the mini bosses. Once you defeated a mini boss you need to find the exit and return to the main stage. Depending on how fast you are the main boss will have more or less HP. Usually when you leave one portal she will try to instantly cast the wall of death again, so be warned. Now you basically need to kill her 3 more times before she is done for. I know it sounds like much, but once you understand the fight it gets easier the more you do it. Now go and make me proud slaying this ugly ass
Only one final challenge left.
Hell yeah, that was so epic. I could cry. Anyway, I hope this was somewhat helpful for people who still struggle with this arena. I said struggle, not juggle, you idiot. And thank you for bearing with me. Have a good night, evening, or whatever time it is. Goodbye, you lovely people.